I think Boscombe's got a lot to offer in as much that the Sovereign Centre particularly is level access coming into the building from both angles and the surface when we're here.
The other thing that's got going for it is that the fact that the pedestrian precinct and all of the shops are level access. There is no steps at all, and most of the shops you can really get in with disability vehicles.
There's plenty of space in here. It's got you can do a side transfer. It's got the grab rails. The bins are right to the side. That's a good toilet.
To attract me back into Boscombe, parking would be my number one.
In this part of the car park, there are 5 nominated wheelchair accessible bays. By the time you've parked a car, you would not get a wheelchair alongside the car to access and exit the vehicle. There's no hatchings at the back, at the sides, at the front of the bays to designate them for a wheelchair user. They may be okay if you've just got like walking mobility problems. But like I say, for a full-time independent wheelchair user like myself, I can't use any of these bays. My car's parked over there and I'll come and show you the issues that we've got with those parking spaces. There's no cross-hatching here to say, do not block this access and exit. Someone will come along and park in between.
Parking has always been very difficult for me, and when I have parked, I can't or I won't use the Sovereign Centre car parking because it's too dark, and I find it quite inaccessible when it comes, because I'm a rear-loading vehicle. It's very difficult for me. So Hawkwood Road would be the car parking area that I would use. Quite frankly, I have never been able to actually find the accessible parking bays. They're not signed, and then exiting the car park is very difficult because, again, crossing the roads, using the main entrance, which is where I would use, that's very difficult as well for me, because there's no refuge area in the middle of the roading, so it's difficult if it's a busy car parking area. And again, signage wasn't there for me to actually guide my way through to safe areas that I could actually find the shops in the precinct.
I would like to see improvements made to the road outside the shopping centre where the lorries, delivery trucks go. If I was going across myself on my own, I would think it's a normal path, it's not a road, so I would go straight across. So I think having a different sort of colouring in the road would show it's a road crossing.
The doors are extremely heavy glass doors and they're hard to open. And the ones we just came in, you have to walk up an incline to get to the door before you come in. And on the way out, you're opening a heavy glass door, and then you're going down an incline and into a road.
I'm trying to get through before the door shut behind me.
It was lovely and bright. It was quite straightforward to get through.
I think the priorities would be to improve the signage, very much so.
The signage, once again, was very poor, either covered with trees or it was not indicated by highlighting with paint or anything of that nature.
We've seen signs today that have been erased. We've seen lack of signs in other areas, particularly in the car park areas where I think you do need to point out on entry whether disabled car parking is available.
I'm really surprised how few shops in Boscombe have hearing loops.
Mo went in and said, is there a hearing loop in there? And she said, no, go try Boots.
I went into Boots and they've got a hearing loop in the room where you actually have your eyes tested, which I think is absolutely marvellous. And they've got one on the pharmacy as well.
The main street, the thoroughfare street, also good, providing you keep on the side pedestrian routes.
There's a flashing thing, but there's no beep, so if you have no vision, you don't know when it's safe to cross.
If I was crossing here and I wanted to go to the middle, and it was bleeping the other side, I would think it was bleeping this side, so I'd go across and I'd be smacked by a car. Okay. So they don't have that because there's traffic going this side, traffic going back the other side.
Okay.
And so they've got that little rotating con underneath, and that rotates when it's safe to cross for visually impaired people.
My first impressions of the pedestrianised area would be that it's very cluttered. It seems very untidy.
We would need to see a coloured pavement area for disabled wheelchair users.
See all the paving there is quite wide apart, and this is all broken up here.
Boscombe needs to think about its legacy, what it's had historically. People do have a really, really fantastic vision of what it used to be.
I find it easy and very happy to be here.
They have got it all on site. They just need to develop it further and go that extra mile, really.
It is just part of good customer service. After all, what we're buying is keeping you in business.